Alrighty, Ruin Cuckoo Cachooty, you normally know it is not watching out there. Took a bit of a turn there. A little bit of darkness, not sure I can use any of that, but we'll see. Uh, Moving on to the next person. Hi. Uh, I'm pretty confident you're just the biggest liar. Let's just see what you have to say, liar person.
What is your most unusual talent?
My most unusual talent. Because I mean, I've got quite a few talents, but you know, it's funny because some people think that it's unusual that I can digest.
I knew it
grass.
was going to have to do
Now,
something
I
to
can
do with
always
eating
digest
something.
grass. Humans are not known for their ability to digest grass, but if you really persevere after the first, 40 to 50 upset
Depends on the
stomachs,
type of
your body
grass.
does change and it can do it and adapt. And I mean, I don't recommend if you've got any kind of, IBS or anything, but other
Appreciate
than
that.
totally works for me, saves me a fortune.
Except for the grass has very little nutritional value and such herd animals that, depending on the grass, again, not all grass is created equal because there are like, I would want to say over 200 different types of it, but that would be massively undercutting it because you got to consider the entire planet and that grass is like kind of most places. Even in places you don't expect it. Not just cracks in the sidewalk, but you're just like, oh hey, this is a desert. There's some grass here. Why? Fuck you, that's why. Like, oh, it's permafrost. Here's some grass. Grass just like, nah. Now, I don't think we should have our lawns I don't think we should have lawns. I think we should be spending that for more valuable usage of the space if you have the ability to have a lawn. It's stupid, and you can look it up about how dumb it is to have a lawn. And how it's just a social standard that was created for the purpose of controlling people and social one-upsmanship and that sort of keeping up with the Joneses bullshit. But there's different types of grass. People do it. And some grass is more nutritionally valuable than others. And I think certain grasses would be far more consumable at a reasonable manner than, I mean, seriously, raise your hand if you have not ever eaten some grass. Like, I mean, just like blades of grass on a lawn somewhere. That's the case, do you ever did you live around grass? Because that's just a thing that kids do. Like, not every kid's gonna sit there and eat paste or crayons or whatever. But damn it, even more than people friggin' kids climb trees and stuff. Just, you're like, this is here. This is gonna hurt. Just do it. And you're like, tastes kind of chlorophyll-y. You don't even know what that is yet. It's a little bitter. It's got a sharp taste to it. You're like, it's really not that much worse than vegetables, right? Like, some grass could hurt you, but generally, it's just grass. Alright, what do you do for a living? Do you do things for a living?
What do you do for a living?
Bounce chicka wow wow.
Well, I sold furniture for a while.
I'm sure you had to be
Then
a
I ran out of
carny.
furniture.
Oh,
Then I sold shoes
that's
for a
funny.
while.
That's funny. But you ran out of shoes.
Ran into a similar problem. Now I'm unemployed.
So obviously you were doing pretty well for a while to have furniture and, I mean, shoes. Like, do you really need shoes? Like, I know that's like a typical, stereotypical gender, blah, blah, blah. Women in their shoes, am I right, guys? It's like, whatever. Like, shoes, they're a thing. I don't, people of either whatever like of anything. Just like there's people who fucking stand shoes. There's collectors items of shoes. They buy two. Really, most of the time, just one, and they just have them. They're, I forget the proper term for them, but just people who like. There's like limited edition sneakers and stuff, not just. Oh well, I want to have all the shoes.
What's the most serious law you've ever broken?
International piracy law. When I was lost at sea one time, I thought all was lost. But a pirate ship came by and actually rescued me. Now, you've heard bad things about pirates, and so had I, but they could not have been nicer. They gave me a job to do on ships so that I could earn my keep when I was there. And everything was going great until they got superstitious. They are superstitious, so I thought for some reason it might be bad luck that I was on board with them. So they were just about to drop me off. But
And
they
then
were
they-
raided by a Russian Navy ship who
Put us all in the
all
drink.
in a Russian jail for 5 years for piracy.
I really doubt you're going to get 5 years for being on a pirate ship unless they have evidence of you doing piracy when you look like that compared to the rest of the pirates. Now, Russians don't fuck around, and I respect that. I respect that. But also, what? They're not known for their navy. Not that they don't have the such. It's just what? Okay, cool. You know, where were you? Like, this just like yeah, no, the Russians are militant. They like that. They want to, but their navy isn't like. Is it? When was this? Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. What were you like as a child? Like, I just don't believe you as a person.
What were you like as a child?
I was a hoop trundler.
I'm not sure what
You
that
know,
is.
When you get the wooden hoop and you run it down the street.
Oh my God, are
with your
you
wooden stick.
serious?
Oh, I was getting so good at it. I could go really fast and really far. I
I'm-
had to stop because I got rickets.
Okay, so I've heard of rickets. I don't remember what it is. I'm pretty sure it's sort of like shin splints or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it's like a skin condition. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with your joints and movement, especially given that context. It's like an old ass thing that doesn't happen, and I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that doesn't leave you for life and probably makes it real hard to be a pirate. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, and I'm not gonna. Sailors tend to not be too keen into, especially on a ship that isn't for passengers. Yeah, they're not gonna have. Sailors, among many other types of people, are rather superstitious types, and it's not particularly ideal to have a female on board. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's not just a fucking superstition, but for social purposes. But if you were on board, you'd be serving a function. You would have a job, but tisk. Okay, made myself sad. That's not funny. I just don't see it. Oh, I was just stuck on a floating. Maybe she's telling the truth. It's just one of those things. Like, what is your life? This doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's ask you about the trolley problem.
You're the conductor. On a runaway trolley, there are 5 people on the tracks ahead of you who cannot get off the tracks in time. If you continue forward, you will run over and kill all 5 of them. You cannot stop the trolley, but you can change to an alternate track which only has 1 person on it. If you decide to change tracks, all 5
And
people
again,
on
the
first track will
concept
live.
is, why are people?
On the
Is this
alternate
like a
track will be
like
run
a
over
a
and die.
pact, like of like
You
unaliving
change
yourself thing,
tracks.
or
Before answering that, what you have to understand is that being run over by a trolley doesn't have to be fatal. I've survived it at least twice now. And after an extended hospital
Under
stay,
what
I was completely fine. You
conditions?
just have to avoid being crushed by the wheels when you're underneath. So, in answer to your question, your morality question, of course you switch to where the one person is because there's just not room under there for a crowd.
Five's a crowd under a trolley. Yeah, you're a fucking poor con artist. That's my assumption. Like, look at her face. She just does. She always comes back to this resting face that is not sincere and stuff. Maybe that's just me. Again, I don't even know what the point of this game is. Her stories are just too far out there. But maybe I'll get more information. It'll make more sense. Now, wait. Let's do the people I like. Let's go back to him. Yeah, he's a mathematician. Let's see how he takes the trolley problem.
You're the conductor on a runaway trolley. There are 5 people on the tracks ahead of you who cannot get off the tracks in time. If you continue
Again,
forward,
is this
you will
like a-
run over and kill
like a
all 5. You cannot stop
challenge,
the train, but
internet
you can
challenge
change to an alternate track where there is only one person on it. If you change tracks, the 5 people on the first track will live, but the person on the alternate track will be run over and die. Do you change tracks?
This is just basic logic. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. So I would change tracks to kill 1 instead of 5.
See, I still don't know if this guy is like a psychopath or. What's your most unusual pet peeve?
What is your most unusual pet peeve?
At this point, I'm just randomly picking stuff.
My most unusual pet peeve would be when I'm watching either a superhero show or a movie or maybe something about a crime fighter. They're always using their superpowers.
What are you?
They're always fighting crime.
What are you talking about?
Time out. Let's see a little bit of the rest of their day-to-day. Because in real life, like if you're...
What are you
let's say
talking
your
about?
job is you're in the FBI. You're not always in the FBI. You go home.
Actually, yes,
and you're
you
with your
are.
wife and kids, or you go to the movie.
It's not a
or
high
you eat
percentage.
a burrito. I want to see that. Batman. Okay, you're fighting crime at night usually. What about during the day?
Sleeping
What about when you have to go
at
into
best.
Wayne Enterprises?
He does
Let's
that.
see a whole Batman movie that's just about Bruce Wayne in board meetings, signing checks, looking over the budget. He's a billionaire. Like, that's a lot of responsibilities and a lot of checks to sign. That could be a whole... How about Dark Knight rises from bed and goes into work?
You just lost so much of your
That's
DC
what I'm
credit.
interested in. It's a pet peeve that they're only
Even
superheroing around. Yes, that's part of it. But give us a three-dimensional picture.
Bro.
Like Michael Knight, the Knight Rider.
Okay, that's a good balance, though.
Kit is a talking car, and that's pretty cool. I wanna
That's a
see
good
Kit,
balance right there.
But Michael Knight has to take Kit in for an oil change sometime.
They take like 10 minutes!
Kit has to go into the shop, get the transmission
Okay,
fixed.
that probably has to happen pretty
That
frequently.
episode, Michael Knight takes the bus to solve crime.
No, he's gonna wait fucking hour and a half. He might do research. That was weak. That was weak. Like, okay, so you're a DC fanboy as opposed to other stuff, but Spider-Man, they cover that very well, and I'm a Spider-Man fanboy, and I'll admit that. A lot of superheroes don't. They don't have a secret identity. Not really. They just are always like Deadpool's a good example. It's like the movies give him more of a life, but a lot of times he just kind of he's Deadpool all the time. He just Deadpool's on the toilet or kidnapping a guy to make a bunch of chimichangas, or while he's making like 1,000 pancakes for his reasons that end up meaning something. Like, Batman probably gets some of the least amount of sleep of any character that doesn't have some sort of power that does that. You know? And he has all the money, and he basically does do the Wayne Enterprise stuff, but not like he should. He has other people that does it. He just shows up and when he feels like it. It's really just a plot point so that he can make a new villain, usually, because, you know, oh, I fired this guy or this person or whatever. That's kind of how it works there. Superman, like, Batman's real identity is not Bruce Wayne. It's Batman. In his mind, he's Batman. There's enough canon to say that. When it comes down to Superman, that's up for debate in the sense that, you know, whatever, but his real person is Superman. He'll give up, he'll put his human identity at risk to Superman. Because, well, you know what? It's really hard not to if you're basically a fucking god. If you can solve 100 people's problems inside of 10 minutes, whether it's a cat in a tree or, you know, they're about to be hit by a bus or, you know, a nuclear missile or friggin', you know, aliens or some escaped convict or whatever. Or the trolley problem. He can hear, knows, sees, he has all the things. And he can get there and do it, and that's just it. Clark Kent is his impersonation of us. He's Superman first, and Clark Kent, the human, pathetic, lame, weak, meek, mild reporter, working Joe, who lives on a meager salary, but still somehow way better than makes sense because he doesn't suffer like Spider-Man. Like, no, like, I'm just trying to think of, like, who doesn't fit that, like, who's always superheroing? It's like, even ones that are just like, that's who I am, like, they don't. Like, the Flash works, you see a lot of that, even, what's his name, the Martian Manhunter, he has a thing, he does work, like, a lot of the time. I don't think he has, like, normal human needs. That's dumb. This is dumb. I already asked you your power, right? What was it? I don't remember. I don't care. Where's your childhood dream? I didn't really like what you had to say there. What's your proudest accomplishment other than...
What is your proudest?
Naming pi to, like, 17...
My proudest accomplishment
1700
was getting a perfect score on my
right.
SATs in the 8th grade. So I got a 1600. It did take me 3 tries. Almost had it on the second try, but took it again. and I guess you could say third time's the charm.
You very much come off as like a super villain. What would it be if you gave any job, buddy?
If you could have any
He's
job,
like, I would still be
what
an
would it be?
IRS worker.
If I could have any job, I'd like to be the continuity supervisor on any Star Trek TV show.
I'll take it. That seems fair.
There are so many mistakes.
Yeah,
would have been
I'm
so
not even
easy
a
to
Trekkie,
fix.
but
If only someone caught them in time.
I don't
I'd
think
love to be that someone.
I don't think they.
You'd love to be that someone?
That's
Let me tell you why there's
the
mistakes.
first time. Oh wait,
When you're working 17 to 22 hours a day, sometimes people mess up on continuity, all right? Relax. Just relax.
was he
I
on?
just want to say I'm so sorry. Because in the moment
Was he on a Star?
when I was thinking about my
like-
dream job, I literally forgot
Okay, he was on
that
Star Trek.
you were on Star Trek, and you have boldly gone where no man
Okay,
has
yeah,
gone
I'm not that big a
before.
Trekkie that I know
So-
who this guy is. So
Thank you for your service, and yeah, I am sorry for being so nitpicky.
also, that's not a good defense, Mister. I was actually on Star Trek because I don't know who that is because I don't know enough. I'm not a big enough Trekkie to really know all that. There's so many different versions, and it's not your fault for continuity errors. You're not a writer, are you? Maybe you were. I don't think it. I get the feeling you were an actor because you're here acting. It's the job of somebody else to do that. That's an actual job. Not everybody takes it very seriously or cares because most shows don't care about continuity. Ones that actually do, like Rick and Morty's a good example, I think. I think Family Guy takes good effort. A lot of animated shows where it's like everything is done and it's like everything you draw, everything you make, continuity has to be continued because it's funnier that way, because it's a good throwback. But Star Trek is kind of like a monster of the week or whatever kind of show where, oh yeah, this is what's happening. There is often an overarching plot, but a lot of times it's like most people don't care about that sort of thing, and only this guy cares, and then some people, obviously, too, and that's cool. I care about continuity errors. I notice those all the time, but I don't know enough about Star Trek to be able to state anything on that, really. It's more a matter of for me, it's less continuity and more like, so you have this ability or power or technology or whatever in sci-fi or supernatural or whatever, and it's just like, did you just forget you had that? It's just like, well, I don't need that anymore, is the trope, and it's not for the actors to have to keep up with that. The writers and other people, it doesn't matter how long you've been on set, which, again, I don't know, like, that's a long-ass fucking time. I don't, like, each show has its own thing going on, like how long you might be on set, or you might be there but not be on set acting. You're gonna wait because each scene has to get done, and that's just how it is, and blah blah blah. But you have to wait for your turn, and your scene comes, 2 scenes after, and they're just having a hard time getting through this one, but you still have to be there because they could finish it in 5 minutes, and then they could get through the next one, and so. But it could also be 5 hours. You're already in costume, you're already in makeup, that sort of thing. It's not your fault for continuity errors, Mr. Actor Man. I am assuming, even though I don't know because I didn't watch enough Star Trek to be able to place you. You're not somebody I off the top recognize because I didn't watch that much. So yeah. Let's ask unusual talent.
What's your most unusual talent?
I'd say my most unusual talent is that I can solve
Rubik's
a
Cube.
Rubik's Cube
Say
in under
something
2
about it.
minutes. And, it's not a world record or anything, but it's pretty good.
Are you
I'll
doing it from
break out
memory,
sometimes,
or are you doing
maybe if
it
I want to impress a date, and then I'll say,
from
"Now you
instructions,
try."
or
Actually,
from
that has had the
actually
opposite
solving
effect,
it?
though,
Yeah.
because they felt that I was rubbing it in their face that I was so good at it, and then I try to tell them that I wasn't trying to brag. I'm good at making things
That's
awkward,
one of
too.
my
That's
best
a pretty
talents.
good talent of mine as well.
All right.
But yeah, I'll stick with the Rubik's Cube.
I like you more because that's real talk. It's real stuff right there. All right, back to you. What's a typical day in your life?
Describe a typical day in your life.
I wake up. I eat breakfast. I feed my familiars. I go to work.
Humans or animals or
When I get home, I like to
non-animals
relax,
like insects?
work on my bug collection.
Okay. All right, simple enough. How about law? I'm
What's
guessing
the most serious
some
law you have
grave robbing
ever
or something.
broken?
See, the problem with that question,
Okay, see, yeah, nope, that's a
that-
good answer.
you need to be caught, tried and
Otherwise, it's
convicted
not a broken law.
for you to be breaking the law.
Mm-hmm.
Now, say I shoot someone. Was it self-defense? Was
Maybe.
it manslaughter?
Maybe.
Was it murder?
Probably.
Until it gets in front of a jury, we just don't know.
Even then,
And I'm
that's not
dumb
how it
enough to
works.
get caught and have to be put in front of a jury.
Also, probably not just shoot somebody. You strike me more as a poison, stabby person. You know, oh, well, you know, something heavy fell on them kind of thing. What's your proudest accomplishment?
What's your proudest accomplishment?
I thought I already asked you that.
I once had these neighbors who liked to hang outside on their porch all
like
day,
people do?
blaring terrible music.
Well, that's a matter of personal opinion.
I thought I could take a bat to their stereo myself and end it.
You could.
But they, of course, had cameras.
Okay. Oh yeah, this
So I
is
took a
supposed to be
picture of
LA.
their stereo and posted it to Craigslist under the free stuff
Can
category.
you even?
Got somebody else just to take the whole stereo away.
I'm not even mad.
As a bonus, they also took all of their patio furniture.
I'm not even mad. Like,
They never hung around outside after that.
I don't condone that behavior, but I'm just gonna be quiet. That's fine. That's woo. I want this one just out of curiosity, just for
If
me.
you're going to be stranded on an island with one person of your choosing, who would it be?
That's a weird smile.
Jeff Tucker.
Who?
He's an old boss of mine.
Oh, okay.
I really hate him.
So you're just like, but he was
If
fat
he
and I
got
could
trapped on that
eat him.
island with me, I could torture him endlessly,
I mean, how big is the
and he'd
island?
have no chance to escape. I could be entertained for years. That
I mean, you can't. What means of torture are you using? You can't just like injury without proper medical attention tends to get real bad on deserted islands. You could die by diarrhea. You know, a broken leg is pretty much put you out the pasture. You're ready for the glue factory. Don't tell. What was her name? Alexis from earlier. Yeah. Let's ask about the wallet.
If you found a wallet, would you return it?